Hello, I'm Nathan Schur with the Weston Media Center. Welcome to this interview with local musician Kenny Selcer, who we'll be talking to today about his career in the music industry. Welcome to the show, Kenny.
Thank you for having me, Nathan. It's really good to be here.
I am really excited to have this interview with you today. We're going to start a little bit about your background, and we're going to get into more of the current things with you, because I know you're here to promote some of your new music, but I want to start with your humble beginnings. Okay, where did you go to school? Where did you grow up?
I was born in the Bronx in New York and grew up in mostly Brooklyn. I lived in California a little bit because my brother was born, the older brother, in New Jersey, but basically I grew up in New York City until I was 17. And then went to school in New Jersey, joined a rock and roll band, and quit a couple years later and moved up to Boston when I was 21. And been here ever since.
So Kenny, if there was, what was the flashpoint moment in your life that got you into a career of music?
Well, that's a big question. I mean, probably the Beatles when I was a kid. I mean, there were guitars around, going to camp and having camp counselors play folk music. But the Beatles, we immediately got a guitar. And 6 months later, I was walking down the streets in Brooklyn, and some people I knew, kids knew, I said, hey, you want to be in a band? And then so I was in a band 6 months later, after I started playing. I was 13.
Was it on guitar?
Guitar, yeah. And it never stopped. I mean, it kind of like music grabbed a hold of me and still hasn't let go. And I have no choice.
So besides the Beatles, what were some of your early influences?
Well, I grew up listening to, before FM radio came out, it was AM radio, so it was pop music, Motown, all the stuff they play in pop music, and then FM radio came around, the album tracks. So I started getting into Cream, Hendrix, Chicago, early Chicago, everything like that, just everything. And then went to college and got into San Francisco music almost immediately. But I was listening to everything, Traffic. I was always into everything, always, even though I didn't know it back then.
Well, I hear all of that in your music, because this leads me to this question, because your style of music, Kenny, just really is very diverse. But I've been listening to music a lot over the last couple of weeks, and like I said, it transcends many different styles. Blues, I hear rockabilly, I hear swing, reggae, and then of course straight ahead rock and roll as well. But how would you describe all of it? Because your brand is very diverse.
Well, that was one of the difficulties of marketing myself.
Yes.
I mean, at the early days, I didn't think about marketing, but that's just, I was into that. I would be in a band at 21, I'd be listening to The Dead and Miles Davis and Joan Baez and the Beach Boys and everything. And I just love, music is people for me. So I don't know, I call it an eclectic, sizzling eclectic blend of roots, rock, folk rock, reggae, country, and everything in between. That's what I came up with. It was difficult. I remember one time, one album, it might have been the first album, I hired some people to promo me, and they said, okay, we want to know who you sound like. So I really couldn't describe it. So I asked 30 people I knew, and I think there were only 2 repeats of who I sounded like. So.
Yeah, because I'm guessing
Paul Simon, Neil Young, Little Feat, everything.
Well, I'm guessing you talked about marketing, and that's something I was going to get into later, but it's so important now to establish a brand, and how is someone going to market you? Because if you are all over the map, I'm thinking like these record companies don't know what to do with somebody if they can't figure out who your audience is, and if you're...
Well, the music business has changed. So first of all, I'm older. I don't really have to worry about that. But it's true. I mean, I play a lot in the acoustic scene now. I've been playing acoustic music for 30 years on the acoustic scene, and I'm mellow, laid back, but I don't really play folk music. And so a lot of the folkies don't know what to make of me, even though I've gotten good. I respect their music and they respect mine because of that. And I've played a blues scene. I was immersed in the electric blues scene for a long time. Same thing, I can play blues. And since I respect their music and I was good, they respected me, even though I wasn't a blues player. Reggae, I love Bob Marley and Peter Tosh, early reggae. And I call myself white boy reggae because I don't really play reggae. You know, I'm not from Trenchtown. You know, that's not my thing. But it's tough marketing. I don't really know what to say. I mean, it's always been difficult. I think I made an album in the 90s with a duo I was in, and we tried to fit in a little more, and it didn't work. It still was too grooving world music for the folk stations, and it wasn't rock enough for the rock stations. So, very difficult.
The songwriting process is actually one of the biggest mysteries to me. What comes first to you? The music, the lyric writing? What is your process when it comes down to you assembling a song?
Well, it's generally the mood, the energy. I try to tap into what I'm going through and start playing and see what pops up. It kind of like music has a life of its own. The song has a life of its own, and it just kind of appears, and you kind of have to, sometimes you pull it out of, you know, you can say yourself, but pull it out of something, and hopefully something happens with it. The lyrics come later. I've always had little trouble articulating something in a song, or just in general. I'm just not very verbal. I know people who are very verbal and they write really narrative, verbal lyrics. I don't really do that. I like the energy, and I've gotten better. I mean, I've gotten easier. It's gotten easier for me over the years, but it doesn't mean that it's easy to write a song. I mean, sometimes it takes months. 2019, I only wrote one song. In 2020, I wrote 5, and there have been years where I've written a lot more. So it's not always easy. Sometimes it's hard. You have to sit down and write. I mean, you just have to write.
What topics do you typically write about? Is it usually personal, or is it more something that's universal that are open to interpretation?
Well, I try to make it universal. I try to make it so somebody listens to it and they can relate to themselves. So some of it's autobiographical. A lot of it isn't. A lot of it's, I take things from my experiences and put it together and try to make it more universal. So, as I said, people listen to it and they don't say the lyrics are just about me. It's about them also in some form. I don't really write too much about politics or outside things in a certain way, because I think it's really hard to write a political song. It's really hard to write a song about something about what's going on in the world without being what's the word? It's like a academic study of what's going on. You know, like, here's what happened. It's like Dylan called Phil Oakes a journalist because he was basically writing about topical things. You know? And I think it's really hard to write something that's it seems like it's not preaching. And sometimes you can say something in the middle, just one verse, and it's over, and then you hear a song that's 5 minutes later. It's, you know, to me, a listener I get bored really easily. You know, so, and it's hard. There aren't too many good political writers. And about something else outside themselves, I don't know. To me, I want to write about the human experience. I want to write about it, so I wrote about it so you guys can relate to it, not just about me or some other thing. You know, like I know people who write about stuff happens in 1860. It doesn't really, I don't know. I'd rather write about something that's happening today if I was going to write about something. You know?
What about when you're collaborating with someone else? How does that process change for you?
Well, musically, I'm pretty knowledgeable and experienced, and you know, I'm actually a trained musician. Not that makes any difference. I went to Berklee College of Music when I was older, got a degree. So I studied everything from 20th century composition to every harmonic class in jazz So I have that huge background. And I study. I mean, I would train my ears. I'd listen to the radio and go figure out what they're doing, the chords. So I can bring anything I want into it in a certain way. So when I write a song, it's kind of, the arrangement is mostly complete and the music is mostly complete as a song. So I can sit there and play it for you. You know, what comes with collaboration is good musicians bring something I couldn't even think about to the song. And they bring a feel. And they also can bring lines, musical lines, to the song that I hadn't thought of. So playing with great musicians is the best thing in the world.
Yeah. Is there, you have a favorite collaborator?
Well, I play with a guy named Steve Gilligan. I've been playing with him since 2012. Mm-hmm. And we, until COVID, we were practicing every week and doing lots of gigs together. We were in a band. I had a 4-piece band and then a trio trio was until last year, and the quartet was before that. We collaborate in the sense that here's a song and he learns the chords and the basic arrangement, and then it evolves.
Now Steve is a bassist, right?
Yeah, and a singer. And he's also a writer too. So.
Now you guys have an album that you're working on together, right? That is in the works?
Well, we were playing a lot of duo work, and we decided to make an album of the two of us. And this is over 2 years ago, and we recorded lots of songs. I don't know, 12 songs, 13, 14 songs as a duo. And then I work in the studio. I used to own studios, and so I was just redoing vocals, fixing guitars, and the concept was going to be a duo album with nothing else. And then when COVID hit, we talked about it and we decided that I can do anything I want with it. So I decided to make all the songs bigger, bring more people in, because that's what I hear anyway. And I started mixing, learning to mix again, redoing all the vocals, and then just starting adding other instruments to it, lead guitars. And so now I have, and I kept on writing, and so now I have, I think it's about 17 songs. The album might not happen because no one really buys albums anymore, generally speaking.
You mean like in like
On
a
this
full,
level,
full album?
They don't, yeah.
People just want to buy singles
They
now,
want
or
singles.
occasionally
Younger people,
download something.
Right.
Yeah.
Before the listening thing was an album, and listen to the whole thing is a great experience.
Well, I still buy albums.
I know. I still like them too. But if I went out and spent a lot of money on albums, I would have a lot of albums.
I actually only listen to full albums. It's the only way I typically listen to music. I will not listen to singles or individual songs. I love to think of music, especially when there is a full album out, as telling a whole story. Yeah. And I've probably been doing that way for about 27 years.
Well, it's great. I mean, the album I put out in 2011, Don't Forget About Me, a friend of mine said that it was a concept album because all the songs fit together.
I think every album is a concept album in a lot of ways, because you're doing it you're creating, songs at a period of time in your life, and you're influenced by what's going on in your life at that time. So it's,
right.
It is a concept. No matter, even if you're writing about different things, it's you at a certain time are writing about something.
That's true. That's true. So I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I love the feel of CDs and LPs, but I'm not sure it will happen. I don't know. The whole process has changed, and I'm not sure how to deal with it all. So.
Well, I want to ask you something about a song. How do you know when a song is complete? When it's ready to debut, you're ready to put it out there for the public to consume? Is testing it in front of an audience the real litmus test? If it's okay.
Well, as a writer, I try to be aware of what I'm doing. So if there are points when I'm playing the song, before I play it for an audience, I get bored, I get restless. Something is kind of off of it. Does that make sense? So I can try to fix it, and if I play it through and it works, that means that it's ready to play in front of people and to see what happens. And then I play it for people, and I see how I feel and see what the reaction is to the audience. And some songs disappear. Some songs, different audiences like it better than other songs. But basically, by the time I play for people, it's pretty complete. As a song, meaning that me and a guitar, not necessarily a recording. Mm-hmm. So you just have to find a point to stop. I mean, there are still lines I think about that I should have fixed in songs I've done. You know,
it's hard for any type of artist to walk away from a piece of art or even music because you're always wanting to tinker with it. And I'm in the same boat.
The song I wrote in 2019 called "Nothing Started, Nothing Gained." It took the whole year to write, from April to December. And when I wrote it, I really liked it. I think I liked it. And then Steve thinks it's one of my best songs. So, I mean, it feels great playing it. It took a long time. I just wrote a song called "Sail On," right out of my experience. Took a day to write. And it's really good. So.
When I talk to musicians, a common sentiment I'm always hearing is that one of the greatest perks of the job is playing live in front of an audience, the energy you get off an audience. Would you agree? And how do you approach the live performance? Is it?
Well, I prepare. I mean, I really prepare. I mean, I listen, I play. If I have a half-hour set, I play song over and over again for days. Because emotionally, it's going to be, it's a test. It's like you're in front of people, everything changes. People right in front of you, talking, glasses, plates, noise, and so you have to be prepared. And I also look at it, the other side of it is, I see every time I play it is different, totally different. So I can never play the same song. I never feel like I play the song the same way twice, ever. It might sound like that way to people, but because I know that I'm feeling it differently, and the sounds and the acoustics and everything is different, I just know it's different. I just know it. And if you listen to recordings of the live shows, you can actually hear it. It's just different, faster, slower, more intense. The feeling is different. So I see every show is different, and that's what's enjoyable about it. It's new experience. The leads, if I play leads, they're all different every time. If I start doing the same thing over and over again, I either incorporate it into the song as part of the song, or I make a concerted effort to change the lead, change it, don't do it again. Because I like to be on the edge, even though I don't like to be on the edge, you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah. In a live setting, a lot of really weird and crazy things can happen. Is anything you can share with us, something funny or unexpected happen that that you can't forget that happened on a live set?
I don't know. I mean, I played so many bars and stuff like that. Nothing really happened. I mean, there have been stuff that happened years ago, but one time I got a gig I was in a duo in the 90s and through an agent, and we went to this little place up in New Hampshire, and after a few minutes, somebody came up to us and said, I think it was the owner, people want to listen to the jukebox. So
the jukebox? Like they want you off stage so they can...
They just didn't want to hear us, and then,
man. That's rough.
It was rough.
Did you keep on playing?
No, we stopped.
Oh.
But we had to get our agent to get the money. But that was not good for our self-esteem.
That's cold.
It was cold. Other times, I played a place used to have, and there'd be literally a table of 8 right in front of you, from the air 3 feet away. And I remember playing, and I don't care if people talk in the bars, that's what they're there for. But these people didn't even look at me or acknowledge my existence, and that bothered me. It's not, they didn't even turn it was a really strange experience. That usually doesn't happen that way. It's not funny at all, but I got kind of annoyed, you know. Bars, people usually go there. I can connect with people at bars, but people, they're there to do what they want to, you know. I don't mind. Listening rooms are different. You know, if you're playing a listening room, let people, hopefully people will listen. I mean, rather than talk.
Well, what's the ideal audience? What's your favorite kind of audience? Do you like big crowds, small crowds, ones that are dancing, or you know, what is?
Well, the big crowds that are listening are really intimidating. That's a tough thing. Because you really they're right in front, and they want you to succeed, but they, you know, you want to be good, and you want to be loose, and you want to communicate. In some ways, bars are easier for me because I play well, and if I play with other people, it doesn't really matter because if some people like it, that's great. So it's really it's all different. Depends on the material I'm playing. If I'm playing all original music, you know, you want people to like it, and the original music listening rooms are the best places, I think, because they're there for the music. So ultimately, that's the best place.
So this leads me to get to some of the current music you have going on right now. You have a brand new song that you're promoting, which is accompanied by a really amazing music video. I'm Leaving This Town is what it's titled. First, tell me about the song. What is it about? Why did you write it?
Well, I live isolated. I'm by myself, and I lost all my gigs. Didn't see anybody. Last year was very strange, and there's a lot of pressure to get out and do something, to say the least. I felt trapped in this apartment house, and it was building. It was just really intense, and I wanted to burst out, and but I didn't want a song about being depressed. So I decided to write an upbeat song, meaning the rhythm is upbeat, and I wanted to make it clear in the communication, but I didn't want to make it where I was depressed singing it and people were depressed hearing it. Like, woe is me. It's like everybody's going through the same thing, right? So I wrote the song using that metaphor. I'm leaving this town. You know, I'm just leaving this town. I'm leaving. You know. I still get calls from people now. Hey, I'm moving. You know. So, it's a real thing rather than I'm depressed because I'm trapped in this house alone.
It is an uplifting song, even though it's obviously if it's a personal thing, it's about somebody who's fallen on hard times. But it's really an uppity song, you know, and it's
I sent it to my brother who lives in South Carolina, and he and his wife have a grandkid and like a year old, and they sent me a video of them playing the video on their laptop, and this part of the song goes, yeah, bye bye, and she's going bye bye bye. It was actually pretty nice. So that's the hook of the song, bye bye, you know.
Sitting around, I'm wearing a frown. Ain't got no dough, I'm moving too slow. I wanna see you once more, once before I go. I'm leaving this town, won't be back no more. I'm starting to fade, feeling afraid. Nothing to gain, it's hurting my brain. I wanna open the door, then I have to go. I'm leaving this town, I won't be back no more. Don't know if I will miss everything that I see. Don't know if you can see it's coming down on me. It's raining so hard I am soaked to my bones, and I feel like I will never dry. I'm looking for my home. Yeah, yeah. Bye bye. Yeah, yeah. Bye bye. No jobs to be found when it's all over and done. I'm up late at night but ain't having fun. Got nobody to call, nothing on TV. I'm leaving this town, I won't be back no more. Send best wishes, I will need them when I go. Send thoughts and prayers, got a long hard path to hoe. Put on my new walking shoes, put the wind at my back, and take a step to who knows where, and then I won't look back. Yeah, yeah. Bye bye. Yeah, yeah. Bye bye. Don't know if I will miss everything that I see. Don't know if you can see it's coming down on me. It's raining so hard I am soaked to my bones, and I feel like I will never dry. I'm looking for my home. Yeah, yeah. Bye bye. Yeah, yeah. Bye bye. Sitting around, I'm wearing a frown. Ain't got no dough, I'm moving too slow. I wanna see you once more, once before I go. I'm leaving this town, won't be back no more. I'm leaving this town, won't be back no more. Yeah, yeah. Bye bye. Yeah, yeah. Bye bye. Bye bye.
So this, I mean, I've watched the music video so many times over the past couple of weeks. Why the decision to do this great video for this song now? I mean, it looks like this is the first time you've really kind of gone all out for a professional video. Why this song? Why now?
Well, because it seemed like that's what everybody's going through. I mean, in their own way. I mean, part of the song is no jobs to be found, and everybody's losing their jobs, and nothing on TV. It just seemed like you hear about, oh, I'm sick of watching Netflix, and you know, it just seemed like it was real for people, and it's real for me. And it was upbeat, so it just seemed timely. It just seemed timely, rather than an old song about a love song or something. You know, it just seemed timely. And I had the opportunity. The guy Claude von Roskin was living in the same town. It's a friend of mine. And
What town?
Carlisle.
Okay.
It was a low budget, no budget, and he said, let's film it. And I didn't want to do a concert film, and it didn't seem like I had to hire any other actors, right, for it. If you do a love thing, you know, love song, you might have to hire or get a couple to do it in there, and I have no experience with directing at all. So it was just, we started filming it. Let's film in different locations, lip sync to the song, and put it in there, and then see what we want to do and piece it together over time. So we did that over time, and you just kept on shooting through the winter.
You did multiple seasons. This isn't just like you shot it one day. This is
Fall,
done in
winter, and I think the last shoot was middle March, when it was 68 degrees. Yeah. Kimball's.
It's a very unique type of music video because you shot it all those locations, all different times of the year.
Well, I asked Claude if that would make a difference, and he said no. Different haircuts.
Well, the haircuts give it away, like, yeah.
But I've seen videos, I don't want to, doesn't really matter who, but where they're doing the same scene, and she was wearing 3 or 4 different outfits in the same scene. So why not have, I don't know if there's any justification for that kind of thing. I don't know what a real pro would do, I mean, pros meaning high budget things, so I don't know. But it was fun to do, it was hard, sometimes really cold, and you take off your coat and try to get it done.
Did you do like the whole song lip sync each season, or did you already have it planned out what part of the song
No,
would
we
be?
did the whole song, but it was different sections. So we might do one section here, one section there. But each season, each time was eventually the whole song.
That's a pretty well planned out, organized shoot then. That's pretty professional.
Yeah, even though I'm not experienced in a lot of things, I have a lot of production experience. So, and he had a lot of experience in the tech side. He had a lot of good ideas. And it really wasn't that hard to do in a certain way because there was no, lots of cuts. But it was low budget, so we didn't have to bring any props in. We just found the props that were there on the.
What was your biggest takeaway from making the music video? What lessons did you learn from the experience?
Well, ultimately it was fun. It was a fun thing to do, and I like to do more of it. But he wanted to do one next song I want to do, but he said, let's get some people and get them in there. And as I said, I can't direct. I have no idea how to direct people. It just was fun, and if you do it well, you get a good response. I think that concert videos are a dime a dozen, meaning that it could be good, but it just doesn't mean it's that interesting to a lot of people. And if it's well done, you get good response if you can get it in front of people.
So we can expect some more music video.
Well, hopefully, but I don't know. I don't know. It's actually pretty time consuming.
It is, yeah. They can be, yeah. I've done some my own, but yeah, they can be.
Unless you can really plan it out, script it. We didn't really go with the script. We went the lyrics for the script, and the location and the visuals were what was real important. So we recorded it in Concord and Carlisle. That's where we recorded it.
This is your last official album release, I Simplify, which I've also been listening to a lot, which I have to say I really do like this album, and I just bought it from you. I just wanted to actually ask you about a couple tracks on here, which I think is a really eclectic album. And like I said before, you have such a diverse sound on your album, so many different influences. Like you said, you mentioned some of the music that influenced you, some of the sounds, like Paul Simon. I'm hearing guitar tones that sound like Carlos Santana, Tom Petty. You have a song on here, a title track. I mean, you have a guitar tone that sounds like David Gilmour, I thought, And the song, It Was You, sounds like something that would make Sam Phillips proud. I'm just in awe of the variety of music that you put on an album. And we already kind of talked about branding and marketing, how there's some challenges with that, but can you tell me a little bit about, the last CD that you put out?
Sure.
Yeah.
As I said, I was playing acoustic for years on the acoustic scene, and I grew up on band music and, rock music and guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, and I kept on getting into that. And that's what I really hear. That's small ensembles. I love small ensembles. But I got into recording in the 80s, and then I started playing again around 1990 on the acoustic scene. I was in a duo. And I started writing again, but writing more. And but I continue to hear bigger sounds in acoustic. So the album came out. I had a lot of, and since I was writing a lot, came came out because I had a lot of songs that I never really played live and never had the opportunity because they really were bands, bigger production songs. And I wanted to just put together an album of a lot of these songs and flesh them out the way I heard them. And until recently, maybe the past 5-6 years, I wasn't playing electric too much, very much, electric guitar. And so there's electric all over that album. And those are my roots. That's what I love electric music. And so I just started piecing it together. I mean, the different songs and different styles. And I hooked up with some great people on that album. There's a keyboard player on that, Chris Bilius, who's an amazing player. Came up with some amazing production keyboards that was just amazing. And there's a guy who plays the salsa guy, Manolo Mariana. He just added a lot, real conga playing. And so
the percussion on this album is amazing.
yeah,
It is, yeah.
and then I had some, like, I simplified the title track. I just did a lot of drum programming where I just I think I put together 3 or 4 different sounds, loops together, and just manipulated them until I wanted them and then played over it.
Yeah, what about the song, which was kind of a standout song, Street Night, which is like this really sizzling tale that you tell, which is really poetry, I think. Tell me about that song.
Well, back in the mid 2000s, the late 2000s, I did a lot of pro sound, and I did 4 years of salsa music at Johnny D's. It was a dance night, and they let me play occasionally too, guitar. And I just got influenced a lot by real Latin music, and I got to know it. I can tell you the different kinds of Latin music like most people can't, you know. And I just got influenced, and I put together this stuff with the Latin feel. And I decided to write some spoken word and a story about my angst, you know, with just wanting to be with somebody and not being able to, and just make it more passionate. Just bring the passion out of it because it was a Latin thing, you know. Just that's unique, actually.
I want to talk a little bit about the local music scene. In your opinion, what makes this the local music scene in New England, specifically in this part of the neck? We're in Weston. You know, what makes it special or unique to you?
Well, I think there's a lot of amazing players here. I think there's amazing all different genres. I think it's just incredible. In the 90s, when I was playing on the folk scene, they called it the boot camp of folk music in the country. There was no business here, so if you wanted to make it business-wise, generally speaking, you go to New York, Nashville, LA. But the playing here was phenomenal. The songwriting, you can learn incredible amounts from. I learned a lot from the people who came out of the folk scene. Then you got the music schools, you know, the Berkeley, the Conservatory, and New England Conservatory. So there was incredible jazz scene. It's just everything. It just. If you let it can influence you, all the different scenes. I found, though, that a lot of the scenes were totally separate, and that was one of the problems. I used to do a lot of audio work, duplication work, CD duplication graphics, and I found that there were people on the folk scene who were kind of rock people, so it was like rock folk, and then there were people on another scene in different venues playing the same kind of music, but they were folk rock. You know.
Rock folk and folk rock. Yeah. Rock folk, like rock people, or
they were just people that played the same music, different venues, but didn't even know each other. And I thought that was kind of amazing. So I straddle, because I knew a lot of people in the audio world. I got to meet all these different people. I just think it's unique. I don't know New York. I mean, New York is probably amazing too. It's probably bigger. It is bigger and just more intimidating because I think I talked to somebody once, he said he was one of the best piano players where he came from. Went to New York and he was not the best anymore. So it's that kind of thing. You know. So.
You actually have a connection with Weston, and specifically the the Art and Innovation Center, where we are right now, and actually this room. The AIC would host monthly open mic nights, and you were involved in that somehow. Can you elaborate on your role in that, and also how also is it important to you to support local and upcoming musicians and artists? And can you speak on that?
Well, I lived in Weston for a while. I lived with a woman who's been here for years, Brenda Assis, and she got into singing on the open mic scene. That was one of her dreams, to sing. And then I met her, obviously I knew her, and she decided to run an open mic in Weston. So she hooked up with the Weston people here, the Arts Innovation Center. I think the open mic was at the auditorium while this was being built. And I did sound, and so I brought a small sound system and hooked up another guy, Peter, and we just started doing it. And when this opened up, we did it here. And I played here too. I played at the open mic. So this one was mostly a lot of different ages. A lot of young people came and a lot of older people came. So it's a pretty good one. I think open mics are good. I mean, they're good opportunities for people to play and learn and hone their craft, and just maybe have, if it's your hobby and you have a job, most people would have a job and play, and because they didn't have gigs, they didn't do gigs like I did. So they come and play once a week at this open mic and other open mics. That's what open mics are.
I wanted to ask you about your contribution to a fascinating project titled Across the Universe Volume 2, another low-budget tribute to the Beatles. You recorded a version of one of my favorite Beatles songs, Michelle.
Did you hear that?
I did listen to it. Can you share with me how you got involved in that project?
Through my bassist, Steve, and he's done some projects for that company, a small production company that did a lot of these low-budget records productions. And I think they did a Monkees one. And I just volunteered. I said, I'll do one. I'll do a song. And he said, great. So I had a time period to do it in. And it was all my own recording. So I knew the song anyway. I was playing the song. And so what I did was I learned I think there's actually 6 background vocals on that song. And I found a tape from Italy, a video that the guy did all the parts. So I learned all the parts, put all the parts down, played the bass on the keyboard, and add a lead guitar and make it a little different. So it's kind of a straight ahead version, different mix, and with a lead guitar in it, in my voice. So it's actually it's nice. Yeah, it's a nice version.
Yeah, I haven't listened to all of the tracks on it, but anytime there's like a Beatles cover album and things, I will check it out.
Things on it. Most of the people on that are from the rock scene. Yeah. So a lot of versions that don't sound anything like the Beatles, and other songs sound the Beatles arrangement. And mine was Beatles arrangement with additional stuff.
I need to ask you your desert island record list. You're stranded on a desert island, but you do have an outlet and a record player, and you can only bring 5 albums with you. What are you listening to for the rest of your life? This is a very serious question.
I know it's serious.
Because you could get tired of these 5
records. Well, the problem
records.
is that the group I really like a lot they don't make really good albums. So
Who? What's that?
The Dead. They don't really.
I couldn't listen to The Dead for the rest of my life. I mean, maybe.
Right, and so like if I had Sirius Radio or something, I can.
No, you can't have Sirius. You can have 5 records. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but this matters.
It matters. It's just too many. I mean, it depends on my mood. I think Little Feat's Dixie Chicken is great. I think Terrapin Station by Dead is great. The second side. I mean, when they had sides. I don't know. My mind goes to different places for different times. I've been getting into Hendrix lately, which is weird because I don't play like him at all. Yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to do. There's too much I like. I can't pick. I mean, I hate those things. I have to admit, I don't like those things.
I knew you would. That's why I asked it.
I like everything from Dylan. I love Dylan stuff. Maybe Highway 61.
Okay.
Blood in the Tracks is another one. I think it's a great album. That's an incredible album. Some mid-period Traffic, maybe.
Okay. I think we've covered it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean everything. I mean, I like. Depends on my mood. I mean, I would.
Yeah,
you
have to have
crazy all Guthrie.
You need to have something that covers every mood when you're out there.
That's
by
the
yourself,
problem.
you know.
5 albums.
It's hard. It's not easy. Kenny.
Maybe my own material. How about that one?
Well, nepotism's okay. That's fine. What piece of advice would you give an aspiring musician?
Hook up with people that can help you with your music. Not only specifically on music, like teachers, but players who so you can just have a good time. You know, I used to tell students, you know, the technical stuff is boring, but if you practice 5, 10, 15 minutes a day and play the rest of the time, that's what you should do. So play with people that you really want to play with and make connections. And practice, play as much as you can. And listen to as much as you can. Don't just listen to one kind of music. I think it's really important to get people that can bring you up, you know. So not be a star and be playing with people who are not as good as you. Play with friends. I mean, there's so many. I mean, have goals, you know. Have a goal. Pick a place to go, you know. So so it's not directionless. At the same time, don't be afraid to go off in tangents and get into different kinds of things. There's so much out there. I mean, there's so much to learn. It's a lifelong process. I think they asked, I think it was Arthur Rubinstein, he was like 93 playing piano. He said, "Why do you play so much?" And he said, "I'm finally getting it." You know, so it's a lifetime of practice, lifetime of playing, you know. So it's fun, it's healing. If it becomes a job only, move away from it.
Yes.
It could be a job and you can make money from it, but if it should be more than that. Music should be more than that. Music is about people, and treat it that way. So, you know. And if you're really young, just play a lot. Just play as much as you can. You know.
And my last question kind of ties into this, but I want to end it on this. You know, Kenny, why do you play music? What is it about music that has lit a fire in your soul?
Well, it helps me connect to people to the universe, the world. It's on a mystical kind of thing. You're getting in tune to the vibrations, and if you tap into it that way, it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. On a more worldly kind of thing, it's a lot of fun, and it's about communication, and it's healing. And if you're good at it, I like to think I'm pretty good at it. It's good to be good at something. It's really good to be good at something. If you have any kind of craft and you're good at it, you should just follow that world, that muse for yourself. You know, it's just be good at do something as great as you can. And that's what music is for me. You know, and it's a challenge. It's always a challenge. That's what I call it playing, right? I play music.
You know, tell me about what you have coming up the spring, the summer, and where people can find you. I know this isn't necessarily timely if when this airs, some things may pass, but where can people see you live this summer? Where can people find you online? Just tell us all of your...
Well, you can find my information at kennyselcer.com, S-E-L-C-E-R, and that'll lead you to gig lists and all my music. You can get the YouTube there, my YouTube channel, and Bandcamp, which is all my recorded music. So go there. I think kennyselcer.com is the best place.
But as things do get booked, they can go to your website and all that will be
Everything
updated.
will be at the website. Yeah, I keep it up.
Yeah, that's
I actually
probably
do keep it up. I don't really update it too often, but I keep it up. You know, so I do have a YouTube channel, as I said, and I try to put videos up there a lot. I mean, they're not like the video for I'm leaving this town, but they're videos of me. So that's about it. Hopefully, I'll get some gigs. I just have to make the effort now. You know? Yeah.
So we want, again, to encourage people to definitely check out the music video for I'm Leaving This Town, which is, they can find it through the website, but it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube.
So they can just search for Kenny Selcer on YouTube.
I'm Leaving This Town.
And I'm Leaving This Town, and they can also find it through the website. And they can download your music and purchase CDs through Bandcamp.
Right, Bandcamp.
I can attest to that.
Yeah, just search for
Yep.
Bandcamp and Kenny Selcer.
Yep.
And it'll come up rather than giving you the website for
Yeah.
that. All my latest music is up there.
There's a lot of music
A lot of-
going back decades of music. It's really extensive.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
all the solo
wonderful.
stuff, all the duo stuff in the '90s,
Yeah,
and all my solo albums and all the new stuff is up there.
yeah.
It's I'll be up there when I leave this planet.
Be there forever.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Kenny, this has been a lot of fun and a pleasure talking to you about music and your career in the industry. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was great.
All right.
And
All right.
thanks for you too.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Baby, it's cold outside. I want to take you on a ride to the stars above, to a thing called love. It's all around you. I can see the future. I can see what's to become of us. We'll ride the sun and have some fun. It's all around you. Listen, babe, we can't be wrong. Listen now, it's in this song. Have some faith in what's in you strong. How little do we know, how little we let show. Baby, I'll hold you tight. I'll love you with all my might, with the world in view. Just we two, I'll be around you. Listen, babe, we can't be wrong. Listen now, it's in this song. Have some faith show. Another day, another battle to be won. Another reason keeps you on the run. Let it go, let it be just what it is. Something else to do. It's better to be true. Baby, it's cold outside. I want to take you on a ride above the clouds, above the crowds. Look, it's all around you. A thing called love, 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 it's all around you.
Sitting around, I'm wearing a frown. Ain't got no dough, I'm moving too slow. I wanna see you once more, once before I go. I'm leaving this town, won't be back no more. I'm leaving this town, won't be back no more. Yeah, yeah, bye bye. Yeah, yeah, bye bye. Ooh, bye bye.